Good morning and welcome to Breathing for Life. I am Susie Houlihan and this morning I am joined by Maria Connolly, who was with us last week. If you want to catch her episode, it is the first episode that we had on the 1st of February. Good morning, Maria.
Morning, Susie.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on again.
Great. So last week you told us a good bit about yourself. So if you could just give us a little brief intro this morning, that would be great.
So for anyone that hasn't already listened to the first episode, my name is Maria Connolly. I'm a Wim Hof instructor and a nutritional therapist, also getting into some energy healing at the moment. So just my background is in kind of social care services and homeless services, family support, children's residential, but I moved towards into the health kind of area in about 2015. I was adopted from Romania and grew up in Dublin, but I was having a lot of autoimmune symptoms as a young person, psoriasis, arthritis, mild form of ulcerative colitis. I wasn't really getting any of the answers from the medical model. So I decided to study nutritional therapy, which is like a really, really holistic approach to health. And with that, I discovered the Wim Hof Method in 2015. And I learned how it regulates and modulates your immune system to basically be able to heal from anything, to control your hormones, your neurotransmitters, just how you feel. And it also gave me, there's just a train going by here. I'll just wait till that passes. It'll probably be noisy. And that just gave me the motivation then and the energy to really change things up and to really take control of my own health, because I just wasn't getting the answers. I mean, you shouldn't be waiting on other people to fix you anyway. All the power you have is right within you. So yeah, that's kind of a brief summary of my story.
And could you give us any more like specific examples of areas that you've worked in holistic health?
Yes, there's all different types of, I suppose we call them clinical imbalances that we work with in clinic. So just a very simple example, something like constipation, someone might go to the doctor with and they might get a medication for that. But we look at something like digestive issues like constipation as a number of things. Could be stress, could be your diet. So I don't know if people have heard of, but you have your microbiome in your gut. It's basically where most of your immune system is. And if you're producing an overload of that bad bacteria in relation to the good bacteria, you're going to have a lot of symptoms. Constipation could be one of them, but also this kind of brings me on to a whole host of other kind of symptoms that you could have, such as hormone imbalance. Like a lot of women, especially these days, are suffering really, really bad with something called estrogen dominance. And they're having symptoms such as PMS, really, really, really painful, bad periods, endometriosis, fibroids, all these type of hormone imbalances that are just making life really, really hard on women. And that your hormones for your sex hormones basically are produced in the gut. So if you don't have good gut health, that might be contributing to your hormone health. Same way, so I'll go back to hormone health now in a minute with women, but I'd like to go into that a little bit because it's such a big issue at the moment. But some other kind of clinical imbalances we might be dealing with is chronic inflammation in the body as well. So that could be arthritis, chronic digestive issues such as Crohn's disease, IBS, and inflammation within the body that can manifest as arthritis, like lots of pains in the hands, the back, the knees, and that might be contributed to a number of things. But what's happening in the gut, I don't know if anyone has ever heard, it's called leaky gut. It's where your gut wall, its barrier, the integrity is kind of like broken, and it's letting toxins from the gut leach out into the bloodstream and cause huge chronic inflammation. So we work with that kind of thing, and it's amazing to see that something like the Wim Hof Method can actually help modulate that whole process and actually increase like your white blood cells, so that can help with the inflammation. But back to the hormone imbalances that women are having. There, as I said, we looked at a huge kind of like holistic approach. It's not just one thing. You can clean up your diet, and that's great. But one of the underlying causes of hormone imbalance in women is actually insulin resistance. So basically, when your blood sugar is all over the place, and a lot of doctors unfortunately put women on the pill when this is a problem, and that's not really getting to the root of it at all. It's just putting a plaster over it, and they'll say, oh, the women will say, oh, I've regulated my period now that I'm on the pill, but actually you don't get a period at all when you're on the pill. That kind of bleed in between the break just mimics a period. It's just a breakdown of hormones at the time, but it's not a period at all, and you're not ovulating. So a lot of women will see when they come off the pill, they're just going to have them crazy symptoms like acne, terrible mood swings, heavy periods, just really, really debilitating symptoms. So you really need to get to the root of it. And as I said, something like insulin resistance is a huge player in that, and stress as well. So modulating your blood sugar for that is going to give you a lot of relief, I would say, with that. Another thing that's a big issue for hormone imbalance are things like everyday things that we use that are marketed as really harmless, makeup, perfumes, sprays, all that kind of stuff. So I would highly recommend anyone using them kind of products to switch to a more natural based ingredients. And there's lots of brands out there that you can use, even if you wanted to switch up your perfume for something like essential oils, which are not only smell amazing, but they have huge healing properties to it as well. Also things like heavy metals in the water, in kind of products that we're using, really, really careful about what's in these ingredients, and try to change up any of these kind of really chemical-based products for something more natural. And there's always alternatives. And another tip is to watch your blood sugar. So careful on the sugar that you're intaking and the amounts of refined carbohydrates. Nothing wrong with carbohydrates, but it's just about managing how they're triggering blood sugar response. So if you wanted kind of some help with that, I'd recommend you go see a nutritional therapist or a naturopath or a herbalist or something like that, because we do the testing to see what's actually going on in the microbiome in your gut, to see what kind of bacteria you're producing. Like, you could go to the doctor for months and just not get the results that you want to get. And there's only a certain amount of testing the doctor can do. We do functional tests, which measure like exactly what's going on in your body. So, I mean, we analyze stool tests, and a lot of problems people have actually might be something like a parasite or some type of bacteria, some sort of candida or something that they're producing in the gut, and it's causing huge problems. So that's the route I went, and I was able to get like a lot of relief with symptoms. But it's, as I say, it's a holistic approach, and stress and sleep are going to have a huge impact on your overall health. So try, if you're struggling with that, I'd highly recommend you reach out and ask for help. But something like what we're going to do now, the breathing exercises and the meditation, it's a great foundation to give yourself just the basics to start.
Brilliant. So do you find when people come to you, it's a whole thing where like their hormones are all over the place, they're not sleeping because of it, and when they implement all these, looking at the body as a holistic system, that's the right word, that suddenly they're sleeping better, their periods are regulated, they're not in pain, and then it has knock-on effects in other areas of their lives, that suddenly they can concentrate more at work, or because when all these systems are thrown out, I think you just end up being all over the place.
Absolutely, of course. And as I said, it's about giving yourself like the best chance and setting that really basic foundation. But also, you need to really check how your stress levels are. So are you living with someone that you don't want to be in a relationship with? Are you having a really stressful workplace? You know, all them things are going to have a huge impact on your overall health. So when clients come to me, there's no point to me. I could give them like a meal plan for the healthiest diet in the world, but that's not going to work unless they're managing their stress levels, and if they're not, I suppose, accepting themselves and loving themselves, it's not going to work either. So I work with clients on a kind of like one-to-one basis on trying to break down them barriers, like what is stopping them actually reaching their goals. How are they actually feeling about themselves? You know, that's really, really important when you want to change your health. Because, you know, I love Louise's book, Heal Your Life and Heal Your Body. So she always says there's always a metaphysical cause for a physical illness. And it's about trying to identify what that metaphysical kind of cause is. And that could be a program or from years and years and years ago that you're holding on to, or a trauma that you're holding on to from years ago. And Brian Morrison pointed out in his talk the other day, I thought it was really important to highlight that a trauma doesn't mean like something like really severe, like it doesn't have to be a death or a car crash. It could be something like really small that you think, oh, that's fine, but your body is actually holding on to that somewhere physically in the body. And what's amazing about the breath is that it goes straight to that place, and it kind of it either makes you realize what it is, or it can just help totally release it and break it down. But it's a hard job to do on by yourself. So reach out for that help. I would recommend. It doesn't have to be me, but anyone that you know that does this type of work, for sure. So it takes a approach to health.
Cool. Well, we're going to go live onto the demo in a minute. So if anybody wants to join us on the live breath work demo, the link should be there to click on it and to sign up. I was just going to ask really quickly. So how can you incorporate this into like day-to-day life? Is this something that you would say you yourself would wake up in the morning and do this before you get out of bed in the morning, or do you do it before you go to sleep?
Actually, it's funny you say that because I've just done it before this call. So the first thing I do when I wake up is just gonna get myself together. And do you know what's actually a really good tip? When you wake up, ask yourself what goes through your head, because some people wake up and they're like, oh, for God's sake, or like, oh, I have to go to work, or I have to do this, or what do I need to do? So watch your language at the very start of the day when you wake up. You know, it might be a challenging day ahead, but just be grateful. Have gratitude that you woke up in the first place, and try and just think about 3 things right then that you're grateful for. It's very American and it can be very cringy for people, but it works. You know, it really changes your mindset, because, you know, we know now that our thoughts influence our feelings, and our feelings are obviously going to affect our overall health. So really be careful about your thoughts when you wake up in the morning. So I said, I wake up in the morning, and this morning was I woke up particularly tired and kind of exhausted. And I did feel that feeling. I was like, God, I'm very tired. And I just switched that around. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling tired right now. That's okay. That's because of this. I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'm really grateful that I woke up and that I have the opportunity to do these breathing rounds. So I did 3 rounds of the Wim Hof breathing session, and then at the end did some just kind of affirmations. You know, today is going to be a good day. I'm strong. I'm healthy. Whatever it is for you. And you know, sometimes it takes time for your subconscious to actually believe you, but it does work. Just keep practicing, because after you do them rounds of the breathing, you do feel a kind of like energetic, good feeling within you, and it's easier then to say these affirmations or to have a more positive outlook. So I would recommend doing the breathing exercises first thing in the morning. You can do them at night as well before bed, but I wouldn't recommend doing it so intense. It's kind of like slowing down the breathing, because you don't want to feel mad energy right before you go to sleep. It's about kind of calming the body. I'm actually starting some classes every Monday from 8 to 9 in the morning and from 8 to 9 in the evening. So that will be breathing and meditation. So great for to start your day off right, and then for relaxing and be calm then right before you go to bed.
Brilliant. And where can you find those classes? Is that a website?
Yeah, you can just book in on my website. It's at breathewell.ie. So you should be able to go straight to the booking system there.
Brilliant. Okay, on that we are going to go over and do the live demo, and if anyone wants to join us on it, they need to join the Facebook group, and the link should be there to click on and sign up.
Thanks, Susie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, are we starting?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought we had to go over somewhere. Okay, so if you haven't done this before, I will just go through a quick demo with you and explain the breathing. So